Yeah, we're breaking off from the cricket. We've got the yellow out and James Green's here. What's happened?
Brentford are understood to have rejected an offer of £25 million for Yoane Wissa. Now, we're expecting Newcastle to come in for another bid. Direct talks remain between the two clubs. Now, Wissa returned from Brentford's pre-season camp in Portugal to discuss his future. He's back in London. He's 28 years old, turns 29 in September, said he doesn't want to miss the opportunity to play Champions League football, and he's told Brentford he's keen to explore a move to Newcastle. Now, Brentford don't want to sell the player in this window. They've just lost Brian Mbeumo. They lost their manager, of course, Thomas Frank, joining Tottenham. They don't want to lose Wissa, but it seems that the player is adamant he sees his future now away from Brentford. So at the moment, talks remain between Newcastle United and Brentford over a fee for Yoane Wissa after they rejected a £25 million bid earlier today.
Now, Marcus Rashford will be unveiled as a Barcelona player tomorrow in a season-long loan move. The last Englishman to play for Barcelona was Gary Lineker. He believes Rashford has a real chance to impress at the new camp.
I think he'll do great. He seems to be in the right frame of mind, and this is I think it's such a great challenge for him. Yes, they've got brilliant players, and it'd be tough to play regularly, but you know, there's so many games that they play now, and they've got a front three, obviously Rafinha and Lewandowski and Yamal, but you can't play three players every game in and out, and Lewandowski's, he's past his best really now. I mean, it's remarkable what he's still achieving at his age. So I think it's a good signing for Barcelona as well. And if Marcus at his best, it's unbelievable.
Can he rediscover that best form? We saw glimpses of it again at Villa, didn't we?
Well, let's look at what's happened to the players that have left Manchester United recently. The players that you thought, oh, they're really struggling. They've done unbelievably well. Unbelievably well everywhere else. So there's something at Manchester United at the moment that's a little bit rotten. And the players that have got away from that have generally succeeded. So I suspect Marcus, like we saw even at Villa, he was terrific. And I think he can do the same sort of thing for Barcelona. Very much hope so.
So Marcus Rashford is in Barcelona, and so is our reporter Gary Cottrell, waiting to speak to us. Good to see you, Gary. Right, how long before Rashford is officially a Barcelona player?
Within the next 24 hours, I think you'll find that it will be announced. We'll see those images of him with the president, with the sporting director, with the coaching staff, with his new shirt. What number will be on that shirt? Well, that's, of course, the centre of speculation. It certainly will be around about this time tomorrow, after lunch, before dinner, about tea time, and then he'll get to meet the media. About 30 sets of media are already ready, waiting to go and see him, to hear him speak about what is, he's made it clear, the dream for him. It's the club that he wanted to come to. He was turning down all other offers, wasn't he? And he's been here since Sunday. He was at the training ground yesterday, meeting his new teammates, looking at the facility. He was at the training ground again today. And we know he was because we've been getting a little bit of a clue. The local football newspapers here have picked up on a TikTok post where somebody who shouldn't have has got some vision of Marcus Rashford posing there with an iconic piece of England, a box, a telephone box. So clearly that is photographs that the club are taking down at the training ground, and they will be part of the unveiling tomorrow. They've gone with the telephone box. Can't see what shirt number he's got on there, but the speculation is that it could be 19. Now, he wore 19 in his early days at Manchester United. He can't wear the number 10 that he wore at Manchester United. That's taken. He wore number 9 at Aston Villa last season. He can't wear that because that's taken. Otherwise, it could be the number 14. I'm told it is going to be an iconic number of some kind. Number 14, of course, associated with Johan Cruyff. He never wore 14 in Barcelona, but it's a number that you very much associate with a man who you very much associate with Barcelona. So, yeah, he's here. He's getting ready with the phone box for those unveiling pictures and to talk to the media around about this time tomorrow.
Gary, whenever you say the words Barcelona and transfer in the same sentence, there's always a complication. Is there going to be this time?
There always is, and it's always the same complication. It certainly has been for the last few seasons here at Barcelona. The very, very strict La Liga financial rules. They've got a 1-to-1 rule here, so you can't spend more than you bring in. If you're bringing in X amount of money, you can only spend X amount of money on wages and transfers. And they overspent last season yet again, Barcelona. We've seen it before, haven't we? So at the moment, they can't register Marcus Rashford. There's a few other players in the camp in the same situation. So at the moment, although they will see him signing, we expect, as I say, tomorrow evening, and although he will travel off on Thursday to the Far East for the pre-season tour, he can't be registered. So as things stand, he can't play in La Liga, in the domestic cups, in the Champions League. But we've seen it before. They will find a way around it, either by selling players, by sending wages out on loan, by selling some of the executive boxes in the new stadium, which is still being built. They do find ways, Barcelona, to solve this issue. But yet again, Barcelona spending money, big wages, don't forget, that they haven't really got at the moment to spend.
Right, look, it's perhaps as expected, because we were hearing that Crystal Palace would certainly take this decision to kick them out of the Europa League by UEFA further, and they've done exactly that, because the Court of Arbitration for Sport has confirmed they have appealed against the decision to demote them from the Europa League. A decision is expected by August the 11th, and that's pretty pertinent, because of course that's when they would start their fixtures. This is the statement then from the Court of Arbitration for Sport. They confirm receipt of an appeal by Crystal Palace against UEFA, Nottingham Forest and Olympique Lyonnais concerning a decision by UEFA to remove Crystal Palace from the Europa League due to this alleged breach of multi-club ownership regulations. They go on to say the appeal filed on the 21st of July 2025 seeks to annul the decision by UEFA, the club financial control body, which found Crystal Palace and Lyon non-compliant with multi-club ownership regulations. And of course, they placed Crystal Palace in the UEFA Conference League for next season. Alongside the annulment, Crystal Palace requests readmission to the UEFA Europa League, with Nottingham Forest admission rejected. In the alternative, Crystal Palace requests readmission to the UEFA Europa League, with Olympique Lyonnais admission rejected. So they've kind of given them a choice there. The parties are currently exchanging written submissions in accordance with the arbitration rules governing CAS appeal procedures. Following this, a hearing will be scheduled. And they go on to say a decision is expected on or before, as I said, before the 11th of August 2025, of course, when Crystal Palace will be hoping to enter the Europa League. So, as expected, they have taken it further. They are now appealing at the Court of Arbitration for Sport.
Well, let's stay with transfers, because one of the most surprising moves of the summer could be about to happen at newly promoted Sunderland. As you can see, our reporter James Green has joined me with the very latest here. James, what can you tell us?
Well, we talked about this, I think it was about a week ago, that Sunderland showed a bit of interest in former Arsenal midfielder Granit Xhaka. And I think at the time there was interest from Saudi Arabia, and speculation was that there might be interest from other top European clubs for a top player like Granit Xhaka. But we now know Sunderland are actually close to reaching an agreement with Bayer Leverkusen over the midfielder signing. The two clubs in advanced talks right now over a deal, and Xhaka has agreed personal terms with the club. Now, his agent, Jose Nogueira, told Sky in Germany that the player wants to join Sunderland, said that Sunderland excites Xhaka and he wants to take on that challenge, and he hopes that Leverkusen will respect his wishes. Now, the timing of this is interesting because it comes after Leverkusen's first pre-season game under new manager Erik ten Hag. They lost 5-1 to Flamengo under 20s. Quite humiliating. Granit Xhaka came off the bench in that game too. Look, he's got plenty of time left in his contract. He's contracted until the summer of 2028. Only been at Leverkusen for 2 seasons, but feels like he wants to change now. Whether that coincides with Xabi Alonso leaving and departing to go to Real Madrid, or whether he just sees Sunderland as a new project. But exciting times for Sunderland and a big move on the horizon.
Yeah, and exciting times for Sunderland. What does this say about their ambitions this season, do you think, then?
Says a lot that they want to remain in the Premier League. They believe they're going to be a Premier League club come the end of this coming season. We're going to have a look at the players they've already signed right now in this window. They've been very aggressive in the transfer window. A player like Simon Adingra, we know he's got Premier League experience. Chemzone Taobi, Ronaldo Mandava on a free transfer. Noah Siddiqui, Habib Diarra, Enzo Laffi on loan at Sunderland last season. £107 million spent. Now, interestingly enough, Diarra's 21, Adingra 23, Enzo Laffi 25, Taobi 20, Siddiqui 20. A lot of young players coming in, but what's been crucial for Regis Lebris is getting that player with experience. Now, Granit Xhaka, over 130 caps for Switzerland, 7 seasons in the Premier League at Arsenal that we shouldn't forget about, a Bundesliga champion under Leverkusen. He's played at all levels, major tournaments, Champions League 2, and you could see that Sunderland are really attacking this window, but they're bringing in young players with the experience. If you compare that to like Leeds, who also promoted, they've been active in the transfer window. 6 players they've signed. They're targeting the 26-year-old bracket, 27-year-old physical presence. They've just signed Anton Stack, midfielder from Germany, 6'4". Sean Longstaff's gone there, who's 27 years old. So they're targeting the window that way. Sunderland targeting slightly different way. A lot of young players, but trying to bring in someone like Granit Xhaka to the experienced head with know-how to attack the Premier League season. Fascinating window. This could be a fascinating signing for Sunderland if it goes through.
Yeah, absolutely. James, for now, thank you very much.
Welcome back to Sport Lab, your home for the fastest and most reliable football news updates. Let's jump straight into today's breaking headlines. Brentford have rejected a £25 million bid from Newcastle United for Yoane Wissa. The Bees are standing firm on their valuation of the 27-year-old forward, who netted 11 goals last season. Marcus Rashford's shock move to Barcelona is expected to be confirmed within 24 hours. Reports suggest the deal is in its final stages, with personal terms already agreed. Crystal Palace have launched an appeal against their demotion from the Europa League. UEFA's ruling over FFP violations threatens the European campaign, but the club is fighting to overturn the decision. Sunderland are close to finalising a deal with Bayer Leverkusen for Granit Xhaka. The 31-year-old midfielder looks set for a surprising return to England. Which of these moves surprises you the most? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Sport Lab for more breaking transfer updates and football analysis.